If you feel like you're doing everything you can to improve in this new season, but you still can't improve, watch it in this video. I'm gonna be breaking down step by step how you can improve fast in Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 3. The meta has changed and there's a lot of things going on in this new season, so I'm gonna be telling you things that you should be doing to improve and stay ahead of the game. If you feel like you're doing everything you can to improve at the game, or maybe you need a starting point of where you can improve, watch it in this video. I promise you I got some very helpful tips for you. And hopefully by the end of this video, if you're struggling to improve, you know exactly why and you know how to fix it. But before we get into the video, if you do like these tips and they did help you out, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe. And all these clips in the background are taken from my Twitch, link in description. Make sure you drop a follow. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. A big mistake that I think a lot of beginners make when playing Fortnite is that they play the wrong modes. This is easily one of the most common things people do that holds them back way more than they actually think. Now your goal is to place high in tournaments. You need to be playing a lot of ranked, doing a lot of scrims, practicing a lot of tournaments, and playing a lot of in-game battle royale matches. And of course you want to practice your fighting, aiming, mechanics, and stuff like that in creative. And if your goal is to be the best 1v1 zone wars player, the best token or wager player, then you shouldn't be sitting in 3v3 golded. You should be playing zone wars and 1v1 maps. And that was just a general outline, but those are some of the main things that you need to be doing to make sure you're improving. Another thing that players do that is a massive waste of time is sitting around in pubs all day or playing creative and not really focusing on improving. Now it is just a game and the goal is to have fun, but if you're focusing on improving, you need to be working towards that goal. Now if you're just sitting in a random creative with random people and nobody's really focused on sweating or try-harding, then that's perfectly fine, but just know that in the long run that's not going to help you. And another thing that plays a role in this, that you need to make sure your practice is balanced. People either spend too much time in creative and not enough time in pubs, or too much time in pub and not enough time in creative. And overall you want to have a level of balance there. And the other 40% should be playing creative. You want to make all your mistakes here and now, because when the real token or tournament actually starts, you want to make sure that you're flawless and you're not messing up. Make sure that you're not choking. And one thing that holds a lot of people back and that a lot of people mess up on is their mentality. And this stops so many people from improving. Mentality is a big issue when it comes to the game. A lot of people get really mad or really nervous or angry, or they just simply lack motivation to play, and all these things are going to have a big impact on how you improve. A lot of people have issues with this. They die in the game and they just get absolutely mad, start breaking stuff, start blaming it on the other team or on the game or even their own teammate. And this makes the next few games that they play even worse, and it just makes them want to stop playing the game overall, which is perfectly fine. Take breaks if you feel like you're starting to get mad or starting to tilt. And we've seen a lot of different rages in the Fortnite community, so make sure you have an outlet or a way that you can take out your anger that's besides playing Fortnite. Now if you feel like you're choking or getting nervous, you want to make sure you put yourself in those kind of positions more often. If you feel like you get nervous during in-game 1v1s, then you need to play more 1v1 maps. And actually me and Vico just dropped a 0 input delay map, and if you hit the best clip on this map, you win a free $100. And if you want more info on that, check out the cards above. But those are just some of the more common ones. If you find yourself doing this a lot, you need to find a way to break this cycle. If you feel like you lack confidence when it comes to solos, for example, then you need to be playing more solos until you build that confidence. But just make sure you're putting yourself in those situations to where you're more confident and you won't choke as much. But overall, mentality is one thing that's going to help you improve way more, and I think it's something that holds a lot of players back. Now, if you feel like you have been trying to improve at the game, or you've seen a little bit of improvement but you just want that extra boost, then you need to be VOD reviewing. VOD reviewing is simply going back and looking at the mistakes that you made and fixing them. As someone that has improved, VOD reviewing is one of the most important things that you can do to improve your game. It allows you to get direct insight on what caused you to do well or caused you to mess up. Even in the fights where you feel like you did perfect, but you took that little bit of damage that almost cost you, you can go back and VOD review and fix that mistake next time. If you VOD review and see that you took a bad peek or you messed up on an edit, then you need to go in creative and start practicing that and make sure next time you don't mess up. Simply recording or clipping your games or even going back and replays, you can get so much insight on what you can improve on. Another thing is third-person VOD reviewing, which I'm sure a lot of you will enjoy a lot better than first-person VOD reviewing. First-person VOD reviewing is where you go back and look at your own gameplay. Third-person VOD reviewing is where you go back and look at other people's gameplay. By watching Sway or Clicks, you can see what they do in fights and how they take 50-50s or how they take this angle in this situation. This has personally helped me a lot. I follow this rule to where I watch more than I play. And I think a good example of this is Aussie Antics. Aussie doesn't really play Fortnite that much on stream. He mainly just watches tournaments, compilation, and old clips, but when he does play, he takes what he learned and what he saw, he mixes and matches that into his own gameplay. By pulling up a pro stream or watching some of their old YouTube videos, I promise you will improve a lot. This has definitely helped me when it comes to building and learning different moves. And overall, there's just so many different things that you can learn from pros, so make sure you spend a lot of time watching them. Now, speaking of players and skill levels, one thing that can be holding you back from improving is the players that you play against. Now, you need to have a good balance of when it comes to the players that you play against. When I play creative and I warm up, I go in things like box PvP or the pit because I know the players are bad and they're not as good. And honestly, it gives you a bit of an ego boost because now you feel like you're good, you feel like you're warmed up. That's fine. But if you continue to play against players like that, when you come against a better player, you're gonna fold and you're not gonna win that fight. And you can balance it by playing ranked or going into Raiders matchmaking where you know there's gonna be good players. You basically just need to give your brain a reason to adapt. Going against your bot friend that can barely build in creative all day is not going to help you improve. But on the offhand, you don't want the players that you play against to be too good to where you feel like you're not improving or you're raging. You don't want to go against players that you're getting 10-0 by because there's really not much you can learn from that. But preferably you want to go against people that are the same as your skill level or just a little bit better. You need to be challenging yourself so when you go against a good player in a real game, you won't choke and you won't get nervous. You need to be implementing this into your practice every single day consistently and raising the standards for your practice. And over time, you will notice your gameplay will reflect that. The last thing that could be holding you back from improving is your settings. Now, I am going to drop an in-depth setting guide on how to get zero input delay, on how to have optimal binds, but for now, these are the basic things you need to know. You need to find a good sensitivity and stick to it. Changing your sensitivity every day is not going to help you improve because you can't get comfortable on that one sensitivity. I'm sure we've all went through that phase where we're changing our settings, changing this, upping this, lowering this, but just know that that's not going to help you improve in the long run. These are my settings if you guys were wondering, but these are pretty basic and most pros actually use these settings. You need to make sure you have on Windows full screen, and if you're on controller, you need to have advanced settings on. These basic settings are really stiff and you don't have a lot of control overall with your settings. If you turn on advanced settings, you have way more control. These settings are really stiff and you don't have a lot of control of your own movement and look sensitivity. And it's really up to your preference if you're on exponential and linear. I've seen people be good on both. Me personally, I play linear because I think that's just the best for me. I also have a blue PS5 controller. I actually need a new one. I have a lot of stick drift on this. And as you can see, my binds are pretty basic. I use left stick to edit and I am on confirm edit on release. Now, if you turn off confirm edit on release, it gives you less input delay, but I just prefer with it on. I've been playing like that since it first came out, so that's just what I'm used to. Now, what you do need to have turned off is disable preset option. I used to have this on for a long time and I just recently turned it off and it is a big difference. You're gonna mess up at first and you're gonna have a lot of pre-edits, but trust me, the input delay is massive. And what a lot of controller players don't know is that your keyboard and mouse settings actually have a big impact on your controller setting. As you see, I have my keyboard and mouse sensitivity turned all the way up because I promise you could tell the difference when you're on controller. Don't know why it's like this. It's the same with the keybinds. Your keybinds on keyboard have an impact on your keybinds on controller. I don't know why it's like this. It just is. Now, I don't really have a lot of tips for keyboard players. Like I said, I am a controller player, but I promise I got you guys in the next video. Now, I don't play claw or have paddles. I use standard grip. I'm an old-fashioned player. I'm sorry. But using paddles or simply playing claw can help you improve a lot. Paddles are the more expensive route though. Trust me. At the end, it all just comes down to your own preference. But yeah, that's all the tips I got for you boys. If these did help you, if you did enjoy the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And all these clips that are in the background are took from my Twitch, so please drop a follow. But yeah, it's Winter. I'm out. Peace.